Hi, this is Andy from Orbit Media Studios. I've been doing social media as a B2B marketer for a very long time, and I've noticed some big differences between social media for B2B versus B2C. In B2B, it's really more about networking and relationships, where B2C, it's often just kind of about building awareness. That means in B2B, we need a lower volume of much higher value relationships and deals, where in B2C, it's frequently more higher volume of lower value transactions. So over here, we're going to talk about B2B, LinkedIn, social media in the context of personal branding and networking and content promotion, sort of building awareness in the middle of the funnel. Let's jump right in. Let's start with the headshot. This can be done very badly, and it is frequently done very badly. For starters, let's make sure that we frame it, that the composition of your face in that little circle fits, that you're not too far, that you're not too close, whoa dude, back up, and that you're nicely framed kind of here in the middle. And then also, that look on your face is going to actually have a big impact on your results. How do you look? Is it flat, deadpan, no smile? We see that a lot. Or is it a little bit of a grin, kind of a smirk? Maybe a bigger smile? The smiling with the eyes, the Duchenne Smile, and then there's the full-on Shaquille O'Neal. So what we're going to recommend is that the smiling with the eyes, the Duchenne Smile, where the whole face is involved there, it's going to look and feel more genuine. Highly recommended. What about lifestyle? Should we just show a picture of the dog or of you standing on top of a mountain? Not recommended. Fine for social media, not fine for social media marketing. Big difference. So if you want to show off your lifestyle or your passions, just put it in the background. That's what the background image is for. Make sure that the face in the profile picture is really the profile of the face itself. Next, I want to point out something that may be not obvious to everyone. Which of these stands out? Which of these stands out? There's one that stands out more than the others, and it is Kate. Why? Because she's wearing a contrasting color. LinkedIn is mostly a blue website. Blue is a cool color. Green, blue, and purple are cool. Red, yellow, and orange are warm. So by using a warm color, in other words, a color that's at the opposite side of the color wheel from the colors around it, you're going to have more visual prominence. So consider throwing on like a warm colored shirt, like a red jacket, or maybe making the background color of your profile picture a warm color. It's going to improve the visual prominence and actually make your profile stand out against others in a social stream. You might have a common name. If so, I recommend using the same profile picture in all social media networks, or at least all the ones where you're doing marketing and networking. I got a connection with Brian Stevens. Hey, maybe I should go look up Brian in LinkedIn. There's 430 Brian Stevens in LinkedIn. Kind of a problem. Wouldn't be a problem if Brian and people like Brian, anybody with a common name, if you got a common name, you're not alone. But maybe use the same picture in different places. It's going to help people connect the dots, and people who do want to connect you in multiple places will be able to do so. And if you're unsure about what picture to use, test. You can test it. PhotoFeeler.com will allow you to upload different pictures and put together a little focus group, scoring your profile against 3 criteria: competence, likability, influence. Give it a try. You might get some insights. It might help you kind of market test that profile picture before you put it up there and show it to many thousands of people over a longer period of time. Okay, the structure of the profile itself. Visitor comes, Kyle Eckerman lands on your profile. Kyle asks, what do you do? We want to make that storyline make sense by having it reinforced in multiple places. So it starts out with the headline, X is what I do. Next, we move down to the description, the about. X is what I love doing. It's a first-person account of the passion and the origin of why you do what you do. In the activities, it's X is what you talk about. Again, consistent. In the experience, X is what I have done in the past at several, hopefully more than one different place. Licenses and certification suggest that X is what you have been trained in. Keep moving down to the endorsements. A lot of people say that you're qualified to do X. In the recommendation, some say that you're very good at doing X. And finally, in your interest, X is what I'm watching. Do you see how it's all X? It all makes sense. It all fits together and builds that little case. You're sort of creating a story. You're putting the pieces together, and the visitor who sees it feels that continuity. The trust and credibility builds as they flow down the page. If you're not sure what X is, totally understandable, not weird. Maybe you're in transition. There's lots of options, but you can create a personal positioning statement for yourself It basically answers this question: what problem do you solve? And how do you do it uniquely? Whom do you do it for? I've got a template here from my friend D. Fish. David J.P. Fisher has got one that works very simply. I am the job title that jumps to mind when audience thinks about topic because of a unique point of difference. So in his example, I'll read it to you. D. Fish, he's known as, is the sales expert and speaker that jumps to mind when meeting planners think about digital communications and sales. Why? Because he teaches the most actionable marketing strategies, the most actionable sales and marketing strategies. So you can see this little template for creating that personal positioning statement can help you figure out what X is, and then you can make the case as it flows down as the visitor scans and scrolls through your LinkedIn profile. Next, we need some endorsements. We need some recommendations. We need evidence to support our marketing claims that we are in fact a legitimate provider for X. If this is what yours looks like, we got some work to do. This isn't good. You're a low-skilled Microsoft Office professional. Not ideal. So first we just need to adjust this by putting the ones that we want to be at the top. The top three are, of course, far more visible than the others because they're visible by default. And build that up until it looks like you've got 99 plus in all the three that support your personal positioning statement. How do you get those? By asking. Who cares? Stick your neck out. Go ahead and ask. I get messages like this. I respond within seconds. Why wouldn't I? Who wouldn't? Who doesn't want to help people? Just simply ask for endorsements. Similarly, you can ask for followers for a business page. Quick tip, the fastest way to get more followers for a business page is to put the link to it with a suggestion to follow for candidates, for job candidates on your careers page, right? So for first dibs, or to be the first to know about an open position here, follow us on LinkedIn or follow us on social media or subscribe to our newsletter. That's a highly motivated visitor in the moment. They're very likely to take that action. Also, you can ask for recommendations. That's no harder. That's no weirder. Just it's a simple thing. The person can decline if they want, but this has a lot to do with why some people have more recommendations than others. It's not a spontaneous action. Personally, I like to do what Lana has done on hers, which is to make sure that you're always giving more than you're getting. I love that. It's like the generosity ratio. Look, she's given more than twice as many LinkedIn recommendations than she's received. That warms my heart. That's a person who's building their relationship capital. Personally, that's a goal I set for myself. I always want to have to be giving more than I get. That's just alignment with the philosophy of a generous human, the content marketer, and the social media networker. So yeah, in the end, you might have a social media profile that really sparkles. As they scroll through, they're going to see all kinds of evidence. Look at this page, like you got to believe this person's legit. There's no way they couldn't be legit. We definitely want to get to 500 plus connections. Not hard at all to do. To get to 500 plus connections, it's partly a matter of just accepting more connections. But who should we accept connections from? I have one tip for you here. There are two types of people we should accept connections from. People who are in our industry, no matter where they are in the world, and people in our city, no matter what industry that they're in. And if that person is both in your industry and in your city, I recommend actually sending them a quick thank you for connecting and start a conversation. That's quality networking. And if the person is in neither your geography or your industry, feel free to just ignore that request. There's no relevance to it all. Where'd they even sent you an invitation? So win that invitation. How do you send an invitation? A lot of invitations have a little note attached to them. LinkedIn deliberately encourages us to write short notes with our invitation requests. There's really two kinds here. Some that are very general. I stumbled across your profile. There's a lot of stumbling going on in LinkedIn. Stumbled across your profile. I wanted to connect. I'm building connections. Fine, that's fine. But there's another type that is just far more contextual. And here I've got two back to back. The second one is specific to something that person recently did. Especially if you're trying to connect with an influencer or someone who's been active and publishing and promoting things. This second one is like, that was great. I liked what you did. Thank you. They just come across as very different. One of them was probably sent by a robot. The other one was definitely human. It was very personal. It's contextual. It made sense in the moment. It was specific to something that had recently happened. Promoting content, separate challenge. Promoting content. Obviously, not all social media posts are content promotion. Some of them are just interactions. There's really, in the end, 3 types of social media posts. Sharing stuff you've got. That's promotion. Sharing stuff from other people, that's creation, that's curation. And then interacting with other people, that's conversation. So creation, curation, and conversation are the 3 types of social media posts. and the only one that really drives traffic is when you promote something that you've actually created. So the other ones are great, they're very important, but it's really more about networking and just making friends. Always remember, the best content doesn't win, the best promoted content wins. Social media is a powerful channel for content promotion. This is one of the reasons why it makes sense to have a lot of LinkedIn connections, is because LinkedIn is, of course, a content promotion channel. I wouldn't expect a lot of traffic from a typical social media post. It can build visibility and make you more relevant even if the person doesn't click. Here's an example of a LinkedIn post from a really famous brand with hundreds of thousands of followers. They shared a piece of content for which we have the analytics, so we go look at it and we find that 300 plus thousand LinkedIn followers shares an article. Total 94 clicks. So social media visitors, it's the click-through rate from social media websites to your owned property, your website, tends not to be very high. Doesn't mean it's not worth doing. I just want to set your expectations for what likely is going to happen from even a powerful influencer promoting content for you in social media. Social media video, of course, is the most powerful format for a social media post. We've got a different video in our YouTube channel there about how to make social media videos. It doesn't take that much equipment. The costs for these things are not super high, but the difference is huge. You can see I'm using a good camera here. I'm in a physical space. The camera's got a lens, there's a decent light. So highly recommended, makes a huge difference. And some of these posts actually drive a lot of traffic, much more than, it's a bigger factor in the amount of traffic from a post comes from the quality of the post itself, including video with captions, much higher quality, than the size of that following that shared the post, in our experience. One of the best ways to share content in social is to have a reason to mention other people when it's shared. An easy way to do that is to actually start the interaction and conversation on the topic prior to posting the thing. So something that we sometimes do is post a question related to some content we may be publishing later. See who interacts with that question. See if it starts a conversation. Make notes of the people who gave good insights on that topic. And then we save that post, right? We save the link to that social media post. We keep it in our in the draft article, right? We're going to be referring back to this later. And then when we go publish the piece on which that question was based, now we have a reason to mention people who contributed, people who we know to be interested. They're kind of vetted. They're active. They're very likely to share. Hey, this was fun. I know that was kind of a turbo crash course in best practices or maybe some new ideas for personal branding, networking, content promotion, and LinkedIn for the B2B marketer. Hope you found this useful. We'll keep making these. See you next time.